Hi, everybody. It is Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. I was outside, so my hair is a little windblown, but hey, it's good to see you guys. I hope you're doing really good. I hope the videos are helping a lot with your step-by-step process. As you know, I like using picture books, and today we're using Dr. Seuss' book. Previously, I used The Day the Crayons Quit, which I love as well because Drew Daywalt is an excellent author in here, and I really like how he makes the crayons come alive and gives them that embodiment of real people, even though they're not. Okay, and there's a word for that in the English language, in the language that we know. The language that we know is English. I can talk. Oh my goodness, it's Wednesday, it's hump day, yay! It's like, are you excited? Yes. Okay, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street is the book that I'm using, and this book can be used in several different ways. I'm using it as voice today. You can also use it as word choice because we're going from voice to word choice, which I have on this chart, and I did put it up on this chart for paragraph 5. I don't know if we're going to get through paragraph 5 completely because this is our research that we did, but I'm doing some works cited in here, and so I thought I would leave it the way it is because it's in raw form still, and because of our what we did yesterday, which is underneath here in definitions and predatory learning, in our last transition sentence we put there, that leads us off into paragraph 5, which is our research paper. Now remember, we're focusing on voice right now, but we're going to word choice, and we're thinking we're going to go to sentence fluency. So yesterday I stopped the video, and this was the page that I was on. So I decided that I'm not going to start the book over again because I really want you to see each video every single day and see the connection between them because that's very important. So you have that connection. So saying that, I'm going to go ahead and read right where we left off with a sled yesterday, and this is the page that I read last. Okay, hang on, I gotta get rid of this. It popped up on my screen. There we go. Okay, so now remember voice. Voice is, we want our exceptional or experienced. Strengthens writing with voice that fully addresses task, purpose, and audience. What is our purpose? Up there in the very corner is our key question. The key question is the voice appropriate to the task. Is your voice appropriate to the task? Is your voice appropriate to the purpose? Is your voice appropriate to the audience? You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who's going to read your paper. You don't know who's going to read this picture book, but we're going to address it in a formal atmosphere, not slang, not email, not hey, how you doing, or anything, unless we put it in dialogue and we actually have our characters read that for us. And as you know, it's Sebastian and Misty basically right now. My other cat, Tigger, has not joined the party and probably won't because he's very antisocial and he's older and he's getting bigger. And he's just old. He's almost 14 years old. And so I let him do what he wants to do. And Misty and Sebastian run around the house and they play and they jump and they romp. And my Tigger, he just lays around. So let's go back to this voice because we want exceptional consistency. Is going to be for word choice as well. So what we want to do is basically our audience and our purpose, the writer behind the words that we use, which Dr. Seuss is really good at. He's a master at it. I love it. Word choice, you precisely and carefully choose your words. Vivid images. They have vivid images. Even though there's images here, if I were just to read it to you without the pictures, you still would get it, okay? So we are, hopefully, I underline predatory and locomotive up here. I underline pace and tempo because I'm gonna go ahead and refer back to my dictionary chart. My dictionary chart these are the words that we have chosen that we did very elementary here on this side of the chart, but in the middle of it, we have a plethora, a lot of words that we can use that I went ahead and used the dictionary. And remember, I'm using the Oxford Dictionary because I like it the best. It gives you Old English and modern day. It gives you synonyms and antonyms. It gives you a whole lot of information in here that you're going to need if you're going to do research papers down the road. So that's why I have those in my classroom, because you are doing American government, you are doing philosophy, you are doing science, you're doing all of those other different things, which is so important. So back to Dr. Seuss. I love Dr. Seuss. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Hold on a minute, there's something wrong. A reindeer hates the way it feels to pull a thing that runs on wheels. He'd be much happier instead if he could pull a fancy sled, which is what he's pulling. Excuse me. Dry throat again. Okay. A reindeer and sled and a sleigh? Say, anyone could think of that. Jack or Fred or Joe or Nat. Say, even Jane could think of that. But it isn't too late to make one little change. A sleigh and an elephant? There's something strange. I'll pick one with plenty of power and size, a blue one with plenty of fun in his eyes. Excuse me. And then just to give him a little more tone, have Rajay with rubies perched high on a throne. Say, that makes a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. How would you like to see this on Mulberry Street? Oh my. But now I don't know. It still doesn't seem right. An elephant pulling a thing that's so light would whip it around in the air like a kite, but he'd look simply grand with a great big brass band, and the brass band he is pulling with the elephant. A band that's so good should have someone to hear it, but it's going so fast and it's hard to keep near it. I'll put on a trailer. I know they won't mind if a man sits and listens while hitched on behind. Oh my. But now is it fair? Is it fair what I've done? I'll bet those wagons weigh more than a ton. That's really too heavy. A load for one beast. I'll give him some helpers. He needs two, at least. Now he has giraffes. He has the band. He has the guy with the house. The giraffes. The elephant. Rajah. But now what worries me is this. Mulberry Street runs into bliss. Unless there's something I can fix up, that'll be an awful traffic mix up. Uh-oh. It takes police to do the trick to guide them through where traffic's thick. It takes police to do the trick. They'll never crash now. They'll race at top speed with Sergeant Mulvaney himself in the lead. And there are the police officers making sure that they can go through Bliss and Mulberry with no problem. The mayor is there and he thinks it is grand and he raises his hat as they dash by the stand. And here's the stand. They're dashing by it. And now you know what dash means, because dash is similar to chase or like play, amuse, energy. The mayor is there and the aldermen too, all waving big banners of red, white, and blue. And that is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. With a roar of its motor, an airplane appears and dumps out confetti while everyone cheers. And that makes a story that's really not bad, but it still could be better. Suppose that I add a Chinese man who eats with sticks, right down there. A big magician doing tricks, two right down there. A 10-foot beard that needs a comb. No time for more, I'm almost home. Remember, the confetti is still up here with the airplane. I swung around the corner and dashed through the gate. I ran up the stairs and I felt simply great. For I had a story that no one could beat, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But Dad said quite calmly, just draw up your stool and tell me the sights on the way home from school. There was so much to tell. I just couldn't begin. Dad looked at me sharply and pulled at his chin. He frowned at me sternly. From there in his seat, was there nothing to look at, no people to greet? Did nothing excite you or make your heart beat? There's no pictures. Nothing, I said, growing red as a beet, but a plain horse and wagon on Mulberry Street. And that's how it ends. Quite an adventure that he did not share with his father, even though he wanted to know. So our adventure is Sebastian and Misty. Our adventure is consistency. Our adventure is featuring precise, creative, and powerful vocabulary, including exact domain-specific vocabulary appropriate for the age group, which is a picture book. So that means we can be simplistic. That means it's easier for us to be simplistic. We can put in some of the salt and pepper words, which we have done over here in our dictionary. And therefore, it often employs strong vocabulary that clearly conveys meaning, accurate domain-specific vocabulary. That means we're plucking out the vocab that's going to work specifically for our picture book. So we want the picture book to remain simplistic. We don't want it to be a chapter book. I have not seen anyone make comments, so I went ahead and did it myself, and I finished the dictionary myself. I did spend the time today, which took quite a lot of time, almost the entire day, to actually write out all the words here that you see very nice and neatly. And then that way, then you have them. And then you have all the different words that you can use for the one word that we initially chose at the beginning of our rough draft. So as we move through this, the voice is consistency interacts. That's the engagement that you want with your reader. Engages the reader with authentic, committed manner, demonstrates clear commitment to the topic, establishes ownership of the topic, has to be in our own words. It has to be where we went ahead and we went into the dictionary and we actually, and I did that. I went into the dictionary and I picked and chose the words that I initially wrote off the top of my head that I knew something about, and then I knew I had to do the research. So I went ahead and did the research that you need to do, the footwork, in order to make sure that everything that you use is according to the research that you found. Okay, frequently demonstrates personality, takes multiple risks, then strengthens the text and moves the reader. That's what Dr. Seuss does. Dr. Seuss moved the reader. Use specific vocabulary, word choice, and the voice, along with fluency to move your reader forward. You saw it in The Day the Crayons Quit. Same thing. It moved our reader, whoever that is, through the story, telling our reader exactly what each crayon is doing, telling the reader what happened on Mulberry Street, and in the end he chose not to tell all the details, but basically the beginning, which is your thesis statement, and that would make a nice conclusion, would it not? Okay, so this paper, we went ahead and we actually have this at the very bottom. I'll move it down here too, so you see it. Misty comes running away from Sebastian, both at high speed. Misty meows for help. Meow, meow, meow means help me. Okay, and I can go back to the original one, which is our thesis, to where we started, I do believe. That's not one. And I have to look back where one is. It's my chart's not here, I apologize. I thought I had everything here. There it is. This is my first one. Here it is. So, or paragraph 3, excuse me, and 4. So I have one somewhere else to write it up. So what I want to do is I want to go back and grab part of 4, which I just did. Paragraph 4 here. I have paragraph 5 there. I wonder if anybody made that correction for me yesterday, because it should be paragraph 4. This is paragraph 5 for today. So the social skills will determine what type of emotional social interactions and habits a kitten will develop according to videos on YouTube. The interactions help teach a kitten what is acceptable and what is not. A kitten begins to get new baby teeth, has a bundle of energy the kitten, can hardly control. It is this energy that mother cat usually controls, teaches, and guides. Did our editing mark here, and then so we can make that when we type it. However, When a kitten does not have mama to teach, then it must rely on other cats and humans, and that's from vetstreet.com. Remember, a kitty has a bundle of energy, but they are not fiction. They hear, taste, see, I could put smell, scamper, jump, play, romp. I just put a few. A newborn kitten needs to be treated as or the same as a baby. Vetstreet.com as well. So Humane Society and Vetstreet.com are the two that are basically running or driving our data, driving our story forward. Also, I put a cartoon character does not have all these feelings and can do fantastical things that are exaggerated. So I went ahead and looked up fantastical, and it's in the dictionary. The word fantastical is at the very bottom of fantasy. Okay, and I went ahead and spelled it out and divided it up the way the dictionary does, fantastically, or fantastical, you would stop, but it uses an adverb. So in our story, we have to make sure that we're using it as an adverb in this story right here. So fantastical things that are exaggerated, and I do believe that we did, but we're going to double check that once upon a time when we get there and we start typing it out. Exaggerated, I did misspell exaggerated. I left out a G, so I went ahead and put a star next to it because this is the correct spelling. That was the correct spelling. I could put a double star. Exaggeration is how it's pronounced and spelled, and the dictionary tells you how to pronounce it as well. So that way you know exactly how to pronounce things, because sometimes it gets a little confusing, or if you didn't learn the vowels or the phonics correctly, then when you were in elementary school, and a lot of times a lot of students don't, or they can't hear it. I was one of those students that could not hear the phonics. I can hear it now, a little bit better than I did, but I was one of those that cannot hear it. So you have to memorize it. You have to remember the spelling. You have to remember that exaggerated has two G's, not one, and it doesn't have two R's, but has only one in it. Okay, so fantastical I got, but exaggerated I did not. And a lot of you have the same problem. So there's nothing wrong with that. That happens to a lot of students. Hi, I'm back. Had a phone call I had to take, sorry. So since play is a vital part of a kitten's development and shows in a kitten's predatory and locomotive skill as they grow. Okay, Humane Society have that information. These are skills adult cats need in the wild. Okay, so we had that in the paragraph before. The opposite of this learned behavior or social behavior would be no interaction at all. When there is no interaction, a kitten is likely to stop eating, feels unwanted, needs physical interaction, or death may occur. So that sounds very formal and very professional, and it's like, so it's not hey or you or anything else. We're very formal on this level. These controls verify and confirm the importance of powerful chasing, stalking, and predatory behavior. YouTube, Humane Society, and VetStreet all have those information, all those tidbits of information in them. And went ahead and I have controls verifies, because I come over here and when I looked at verify has confirm, prove, substantiate, back up, justify, support, uphold, testify to, and validate. I could have used any of those words, and I probably will with the other paragraph and when I continue this, to pull out that verification is so important. Also, I've talked about reliable. Reliable is down here, which is depend, trust, safe, good, authentic. Anything with ant in it, like anti, is not. It means no, you cannot. Speed, and I have speed up here because play and speed pretty much go together, faster than. And so I wanted to know other words for speed because a kitten zooms across. As they get older, their speed will reduce, their agility will reduce, and they'll get more precise, but they won't have this. He has this erratic speed, this erratic motions to him right now because he's learning, well, how does his paws work? How does his legs work? His legs go underneath him and he gets out of control and he rolls and tumbles and he gets back up and he's like, oh, who did that to me? And nobody's around. He did it to himself. So saying that, I went ahead and put in predatory and locomotive skill as they grow, faster than normal pace or tempo. I come over here And you'll see rush, hurry, make contact with, get a hold of for a chase. Act of chasing, speed is the rate at which someone or something moves. Operates at fast rate or movement or action. Move quickly, pace, tempo. So pace, tempo is small. Those are two small words here. I chose to put in the paragraph. Vital is another part that I'm going to add to this, and I haven't yet. Synonyms for loud. Loud is sometimes the cats will meow very loudly. Okay, and I wanted something, other synonyms for that, and I put synonyms here to remind me that this is my synonym page. It means similar to. That means I'm precise, I'm consistent, and I'm looking back at my rubric over here to the side. That's word choice, because that's where we're going for word choice and your voice. So as you add specific words to your writing, your word choice and your voice gets louder, gets authoritative, gets very reliable to the point where it shows that you've done the research. If I didn't do the research, then we would have had just these words here in my writing, which would not have been this page. It would have been, and I kept it up here, the rough draft. And remember I said this is how you guys try to write, is you write from a rough draft and you don't make this plan, you don't make this organizational plan, you don't plan out your voice, specific words that you're going to incorporate and put into your writing in order for it to pop. And then I can hear your voice. Or someone else at New Learning, another instructor, when they hear it, they hear your voice. They know it's you talking, just like Dr. Seuss does on Mulberry Street. You hear Dr. Seuss's voice. You hear the character of the little boy in here, because now what I can say when I get home to his dad at the end, he ends the way he started, but he doesn't tell him all about his adventure or what he actually saw. And reindeer, fast, he's fleet. He looked mighty smart on Mulberry Street. He'd be much happier instead. A reindeer hates the way it feels. It's his research. It's what he knows, like we know about a kitten. And there's other information that we're actually going to put in here about adult cats need in the wild. What exactly do they need if they get out? And a lot of times people declaw their cats. And I'm not going to go into, that's a controversial topic. That is an argument topic. And you could go in that direction if you had to write an argument, not just a persuasion, but an argument piece of writing. And then you could say, well, cats or kittens should not be declawed because if they get outside, they are predatory. They want to go hunt, and their claws is what they use, not just their mouth, but their claws, and that's all they have for tools. They don't have anything else. And if you take that away, all they have is their mouth. And that's not enough to keep them from crows, to keep them from, because a baby kitten will roll on his back, and he does this, and then he'll go, and he's learning, Sebastian does this, he goes and pokes at me, puts his paw on me, or when I pick him up and he doesn't want me to kiss him, he puts his paw right here in my mouth, like this, and all of a sudden I have two black paws right here, and he goes, no, and I go, no more kissing, and he goes like this, and I go, and he goes like this. He covers up my mouth like, no, I don't want you to kiss. He doesn't purr. He doesn't meow. Nothing. He just all of a sudden his paws are right there in my mouth telling me, no, stop. So that's the other importance of powerful chasing, stalking, predatory behavior. They're learning the behavior, learning what it takes to be that kitten, to be that survivor. And he's already a survivor. Establishes ownership of the topic is what we're doing. I'm establishing the ownership because no one has submitted anything in Google Classroom. I would really appreciate if you would leave comments or anything or email me. That would be great because I'm documenting that, and then I'm sending that to Ms. Mills so that way they can go ahead and document that in case notes. So specific words, specific things, and I can go ahead and put in there that you communicated with me. If not, you don't have a case note. You didn't communicate with me, and that's what I have to put in that case note, that you did not communicate with me. You don't want that. Come on. And if you see this video and you know others have made statements, well, I'm not going to email them. I'm not doing that over break or anything. You need to let them know that they're going to need positive case notes. So pass the word. You guys are really great at passing the word. You guys are great as a team, and I'm counting on that, okay, so that we can get that done. Frequency interacts, engages with the reader in authentic, committed manner. This is authentic, committed manner. YouTube, Humane Society, and Vet Street. I left off at speed and loud, noisy, blaring, booming, roaring, thunderous, resounding, sonorous, powerful. Oh, wait, sonorous. Did you know sonorous is loud? Did you know that this is a synonym of the basic word loud? And if you didn't, now you do, and you add that to your word choice, which is your vocabulary, your word choice, and your voice, and all of a sudden you use that word as I did here, predatory and locomotive, and you sound very authoritative. You sound very professional in the fact. Also, where was I at? Loud, powerful, piercing, and shrill. Fantastical, I'm going to drop down here. Imagination, vision, daydream, invention, delusion. That means make believe completely. Exaggerated is overstatement, overemphasizing. This is your irony in here. Irony fits in here. Inflate and embellish. A lot of times you hear me say embellish means that you get to make it up, or you get to add more flavor to it, more salt and pepper to it. Editing marks again are here. I did not make any editing marks on here at all. I did do one, which is a cross off. I can't find it. That's funny. I did do one cross off. I remember doing it. And because I started to write something and I didn't want it, so I put one cross. There it is, right here. One line delete. One line delete is a cross off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add this to our editing mark. And I'm going to do like not here, and then do one line delete through it. And that's so I can see the mistake. I want to be able to see that word not, because I'm going to put another word that's a higher level word instead of that word. And same here. I started to do in, and I thought, no, that's not right. And I did one line delete because needs physical interaction. I started to put needs interaction, and I said, no, physical has to go there first to show placement, to show what kind of interaction is it. Is it mental? Is it spiritual? Is it physical? No, it's physical interaction. So that needs to identify what type of interaction. And again, that is your voice being specific. I'm looking at the rubric of voice. This is your word choice as well. 27 minutes, I have about 3 minutes here, and I want to start going through sentence fluency because I always like to look at where we're going. So I didn't get through all the words, but most of them you can read. And you know, grow is develop, become larger, increasingly braver, and more appealing. These are all dictionary words. So our dictionary grew, paragraph grew, verifiability grew, reliability grew, works cited is there. We did a transition sentence, and we transitioned paragraph 4 to paragraph 5. My delightful timeline, that's still online on the Google Classroom. Key question for sentence fluency: does the writer control sentences so the text flows smoothly when read aloud? Does the text flow smoothly when read aloud? Yes. Does the text flow smoothly when read aloud? Yes, it does. Does our text flow smoothly when read aloud? Yes, because when you read aloud, you read slower, and it's harder to read aloud than it is to read to yourself. So that is the key question. That's the objective in sentence fluency. Word choice, objective. Key question is, does the language convey precise, compelling, meaningful, and vivid pictures for the reader? This is giving us a vivid picture we're going to put into our writing. So that's the word choice. You must do this. Voice. Voice, key question, is the voice appropriate to the task, purpose, and audience? I said this at the beginning of the video. Strengthens your writing with voice that fully addresses task, purpose, and audience. Keep that in mind. What is 5 or 6? Uses a variety of correctly structured sentences that are rhythmic and flowing. Fluency. Your sentences must flow. Word choice. Experienced. Incorporates precise and creative vocabulary, uses imagery and or figurative language if appropriate. And it was appropriate, and we did use it. So therefore, you would get a high score on it because that's where we're going. It needs to flow. It needs to flow from one thing to the next. High degree of craftsmanship, which is what we've done. You guys take care, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Again, this is Wednesday, April 8th.